It's Friday, and you know what that means. It's time for another great episode of Wctv.
We've got the scoop on what's growing in the ag program, a sports update, and a look into a serious issue here at WCHS.
So Sky, are you in ag?
No, but I do participate in Drive Your Tractor to School Day.
I love when they have those fun days for FFA. I wonder if any of them will change this year.
Wait, what do you mean?
There's a new ag teacher this year, duh, Sky.
Oh, I haven't heard that much about him.
Well, you're in luck. Casey Jorgensen got the story on the ag program's new teacher.
Who is Mr. B? Where in the world can I find this guy? Does anyone know who Mr. B is? Mr. B? In case you haven't noticed, our beloved ag teacher, Mr. Veldenhuizen, has come down with his second case of Hodgkin's disease. Mr. Doherty substituted for him first semester. Now, to graciously take his place, Mr. Berlage, known as Mr. B, is taking over all the agriculture classes second semester. I searched high and low to find out who this ag teacher really is. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Jeff Burlage, and I'm a subbing ag instructor here at Webster City. And I got a 1999 graduate of Iowa State University, and currently working on my master's in administration. Hopefully finish that up sometime here in the next couple years. And really enjoyable to be up here at Webster City helping out.
What classes are you teaching this semester?
This semester we're teaching an intro to ag class that goes out primarily to the officers, 2 classes of ag 2 class that deals with animal science. We do an intro to ag business, which is dual credit with Iowa Central Community College. We also do a horticulture 2 landscaping and a landscaping 2 class.
Mr. B seems like he meets all the requirements of being a perfect ag teacher, but we all know the students have their opinions too. What do you think of Mr. B?
He's a cool guy, and he's smart.
He's strict but fun. He makes us work real hard. He's pretty cool and he knows a lot about horticulture.
Even though Mr. V is gone for now, WCHS has picked the perfect candidate to take his place until he's back. I'm Casey Jorgensen reporting for WCTV, and welcome to WCHS, Mr. Verlage.
Thanks, Casey. I'll be sure to say hi to him.
I'm sure you'll see him at one of our many sporting events.
Speaking of sports, do you know how all the teams are doing?
I think wrestling is doing pretty well, and the basketball teams are balling it up.
Rachel Stye has the in-studio update on just how this season is going for the Lynx.
Winter greetings, Lynx Nation. Try as she may, Mother Nature, with never-ending snowstorms and below-zero temperatures, has had no effect on the hot action happening in gym recently. So far, Lynx wrestlers have had a respectable season, falling just short of the stellar season they had expected. Their dual record is currently 11-6, after they punished Iowa Falls Alden last week 60-10 in Jeff Gym. The Lynx were unstoppable against the Cadets as they recorded 6 pins. Last Saturday, the Lynx also finished 3rd in their pool and 7th overall at the Ames Dual Invitational. Tomorrow, the Lynx leap into sectional wrestling at Ballard, where each wrestler hopes to qualify for districts by finishing 1st or 2nd in their weight class. The icing on the cake for the Lynx would be to finish as one of the top 2 teams at sectionals to qualify for team regionals. The boys basketball team found some bumps in the road on the way to reaching their goals for the season. Losing a number of games by 8 points or less, the guys' record stands at 7-11. The Lynx usually depend on senior leadership for success. However, in a reversal of roles this year, Coach McKinney has moved 3 sophomores up to varsity, Andrew May, John Davis, and Brian Swan, to help carry the load. Tonight, the Lynx are looking to pull an upset at Algona against the always tough Bulldogs. The girls' basketball team went into the season with high hopes. They wanted to be near the top in the North Central Conference. There has been a few roadblocks along the way, but the girls are doing their best, with recent wins against Bishop Garrigan and Boone, Back in the North Central Conference, the girls experienced a tough 1-point loss to the Humboldt Wildcats and struggled through a 5-13 loss to Eds Tuesday night. The girls are optimistic, looking to pull an upset against the highly ranked Algona Bulldogs tonight, and a chance to add some wins playing against Carlisle Saturday night and against Humboldt Wildcats again on Tuesday. Looking down the road, the girls hope to extend their postseason play past their first round district game at Storm Lake on February 17th. Good luck to the Lynx athletes in games ahead. Remember, Lynx Nation, all the athletes really appreciate your support. That's your Winter Sports Update. Now back to Martin and Sky.
Thanks, Rachel. Congrats to all the Lynx athletes.
Now, we've got a more serious issue to cover.
Recently, WCHS has had several issues with harassment. This is a very serious issue and affects many students each year. The dictionary definition of harassment is to disturb persistently, torment as with troubles or cares, bother continually, pester, persecute, and this is a very serious issue and is something that WCHS is trying to address. Miranda Wood got the story.
Have you ever picked or teased on someone just for the fun of it? You and your friends may think it's funny, but have you ever considered how that person felt? If you have ever constantly picked on someone until they don't want to come to school anymore, you've gone too far. Doing so is called harassment. This is what Mr. Elkin had to say.
We do have a small, whatever you want to define that as, we have some issues of kids actually being harassed. They call that pervasive harassment, meaning it happens constantly inside of school, outside of school. So I would say we do have a harassment problem when it comes to being pervasive harassment. We also have what I call a harassment issue of kids more or less being catty to one another. Not really serious, although all forms of harassment are serious, but more of a name-calling cattiness, whereas that kind of overshadows the real harassment that takes place of students who are pervasively being harassed on a constant, consistent basis that really affects their well-being at school. I think there's several key things that influence kids to basically empower them so they think this is okay. One of them could be, family structure. Their parents, their older siblings think it's okay, and that's who we're influenced by to a large part. I think media involving television, movies, music, they kind of promote being rude to people and harassing people and saying what you want, even though that's fiction, not fact. People are influenced by that. I think a third way they're influenced is it's so impersonal now. Instead of talking to somebody about an issue I have with them, I can post it on my Facebook or Twitter it or text them, and it's really impersonal, which makes it basically easier to be mean to people or more rude. Pretty much about 95% of all the harassment I deal with is all verbal. Very few amount of it is physical. Those are usually fist fights are one and done. A lot of the harassment is verbal. And I think kids don't really realize by texting people or writing on Facebook or giving them nasty notes or the verbal stuff really hurts people. And we can deal with it how we deal with the consequences and suspensions and the police. The bottom line is when you do that to somebody, you really affected them. Because we've had some students leave school here who don't want to come back because of that harassment. I think the bottom line people need to figure out is it's not nice, don't do it.
As you can see, this is a very serious problem we have right in our very own school. So what can we do to stop?
There's 3 or 4 things students can do to not be involved in harassment or help cure the problem. The first one is to not be involved, not respond if they're being harassed, not jump in if they're not involved at all. Basically stay out of it. Second thing is if they are being harassed, they need to report it to the proper authorities, either school officials or the police. Third thing they can do is they can report it if they see it happening. They can actually become an active person to saying, I saw it happen, and stand up to the bully instead of taking the stance of, I don't want to be involved. Well, if it was them, I'm sure they would want people helping them out. And the fourth major thing they can do is basically be mature about it, not lowering yourself to the level of the bully, not making a big deal, drama about it, just basically be mature about it and deal with the situation.
If you or someone you know is being harassed or harassing someone, do something about it. Just telling an adult would be a big help. And if you're the one doing the harassing, just stop. Remember, there are consequences. I'm Miranda Wood reporting for Wctv, and remember to be respectful.
Thanks, Miranda. We hope all WCHS students take this issue seriously and do all you can to help with this problem.
Congrats to the basketball teams on their games this week, and good luck to the varsity boys and girls tonight at Algona. And also good luck to the girls against Carlisle at home on Saturday at 6:30. Everyone be sure to cheer on the wrestlers at sectionals on Saturday.
Next week, we've got a very special show for all you lovebirds. We've got just how to have the perfect Valentine's Day, the best pickup lines to snag a Valentine, and what you can do for Valentine's Day if you're flying solo.
We'll leave you with some trivia for all you lefties.
See you next week.
You are left-handed, ha ha.
Every year, 21,000 left-handed people die from using right-handed products.
All right, guys, I'm giving you all ODRs. You do not make fun of left-handed people. Over here, come here.
Left-handed people are generally better looking than right-handed people.
Making fun of left-handed people. Sign, please. That'll teach you. I'll get you two later.
Left-handed people are more likely to be dyslexic and have problems stuttering.
Don't make fun of left-handed people.